Minister, this bill is about the privatisation of what is a very important state asset and should be retained as an asset for the benefit of the Irish people. Much has been said by the government that this is not a fire sale, it's not the sale of family silver, it's a sale of non-core assets that are needed to generate revenue for the state, and that it's not happening as a fire sale where the price achieved will be reduced. But the fact is that this legislation has to be in place by the end of the year to make this sale go through, and the European Commission have given the government a deadline of 2014 to have this sale completed on foot of the EU gas directive, which provides for the breaking up of the gas suppliers across the European Union. So it is on a deadline. So that has a serious impact on the potential price that can be achieved for this asset if it is so valuable and that the only option we have is to sell it. The government are saying that the value they expect is somewhere between 1 and 1.5 billion euros. And it's been reported recently that it's expected that that would be even less than that, and which I would expect it will be, because anybody looking to buy this company knows that the gun is against your head to do it, to get it sold. They know that they can sit tight and they can run down the clock, and you're going to end up having to accept a deal that maybe wouldn't be the best deal that the state could achieve if they were selling it under different circumstances and without the Troika and the European Commission putting a gun to your head to make it happen. But about the value of it, even if it is achieved, 1 billion euros or 1.5 billion euros. So that means that 750 million will go to write off debt or go against our debt. Now that equates to probably about 6 weeks interest payments on the national debt that we're paying. So we're selling off this vital public asset, a public good, for 6 weeks' benefit. It certainly doesn't make any sense to me, and all the talk on the other side of the house about we have to write down our debts and we have to impact on the debts through these sales. It will make absolutely no difference to our debt. In fact, it would reduce our national debt if we achieve 1.5 billion euros of the sale. It would reduce it from 200.7 billion euros this year to 200 billion, which is a reduction of something like about 0.4% in the national debt. So it isn't going to make any impact on our debt situation and do anything to improve it. So why is it happening? It's happening because the overall agenda within the European Union, within this government, and even though the Labour Party are party to it, are part of this government, that is the agenda that's here, is to use this crisis. I mean, Angela Merkel wasn't joking when she said a couple of years ago, we shouldn't waste the opportunity of this crisis. And this is the opportunity of the crisis that is there for the multinational energy companies across the world to get in here and avail of a fire sale of assets in Ireland, in Greece, and in the other programme countries, and right across the European Union. That's the opportunity in the crisis. And the opportunity in the crisis isn't to make things better for European citizens, it's to make opportunities for big business. And then the government go on to talk about the job creation and what the sale will mean for job creation and provide a stimulus. But what about if they kept Bord Gáis Energy as a public good and in semi-state ownership? What about the potential that Bord Gáis would have had to take people in, train them up, use their extensive interests in the energy sector, renewable energy, wind farms, use those to train workers across this state and be part of the recovery and be part of the stimulus. Because no private company will be interested in doing that when it comes to pass and the sale goes through. The example of the ESB has been quoted here in the House, where they agreed and took on 400 apprentices or people to train up so that they could enter into the workforce. Bord Gáis could be doing that on behalf of the Irish people. The renewable energy sector, there's huge deficits in maintenance personnel for the renewable energy sector right across Europe. And Ireland alone has estimated that there's a requirement for about 10,000 jobs just to maintain the existing renewable energy sites and wind farms that are here. So what the potential there to create those jobs and train those people is huge. But you are going to lose all that when this act is passed and the sale is completed of Bord Gáis Energy. And what about extension of the networks? If Bord Gáis is left with a transmission network to manage, and they will be reliant on a subsidy from the energy retail companies to operate and to generate a profit, what is going to happen with the extension of the transmission network? Something that could be a huge stimulus. If you look at the northwest, where Sligo, Letterkenny, Donegal could all benefit from the huge stimulus that will be provided by the extension of the transmission network into the northwest. That won't happen after this.
Prepare to conclude, Deputy.
Okay, thank you, Cahirlach. But that won't happen after the sale goes through. For all those reasons, I think this sale should be rejected and this legislation should be rejected as well.